Swiss delegation. Welcome to this session, probably maybe the first session of this EGM about positive discrimination. So, with Samantha here, we have a very special relationship with this topic. I will explain it a bit, why we decided to work on this topic. So basically, 1 year and a few days ago, we did a training event called Educate Starter. Thank you. In the Czech Republic, and the theme of the event was fighting against discrimination and inclusion for all. And with Samantha, our brand is to
be authentic.
To be very authentic and maybe like going a bit more creative. So we wanted to work on the topic of positive discrimination. And that's where we actually met each other. So it's kind of beautiful 1 year after to work on it. When we did this presentation, we got told that positive discrimination doesn't exist and that our topic was not acceptable. So we did a bit of more research and we just wanted to know if it actually exists or not. And today we can come with you with an actual presentation about it. So, in order to understand what is positive discrimination, we'll start with 2 different stories. I hope you can hear me well with the mic. Yeah. So, first story happens in beautiful Czech Republic with 2 protagonists. We have Monika and Begonia. So, Monika and Begonia are very, very similar. They all live in the same town of Brno. They all come from the same town in Brno. They all attended the same high school. They all have the same plan as well. They all want to leave the Czech Republic to go study in the UK in a very prestigious university in the UK. The problem is that this program is limited. There is just 1 person from the Czech Republic that can attend this beautiful university, and they have to send a very thorough application. On the left, Monika. Monika is what we call the typical Czech. Both of her parents are Czech. I don't want to make any jokes about ears, but she likes beer. She's the typical Czech person that you can think of, but she also works a lot. She has an excellent academic record, really working a lot, and her grades are amazing. Then on the right we have Begonia. So Begonia has also very, very good grades. She's very talented as well, but she has a slightly different ethnic background. She actually comes from a Roma community just on the outskirts of Brno. That's the only thing that is different between those 2 applicants. They both send their application, and then what happens? The universities say they want to have Begonia as their student. Why, you may ask? The admission officer says that they want to promote inclusivity on their campus. They want to have minority groups being represented, and that's why they chose Begonia over Monika, even though Begonia had less good grades. That is the first story. I will give the mic to my fellow partner and friend to describe the second story.
So, the next story goes from not so sunny Czech Republic to not even sunny southern Germany. This fellow guy called Wilhelm is 25 years old, recently graduated from amazing cooking school in Germany, also did his mobility in nowhere else than Mexico itself. Based on this, he really wants to apply for this amazing opportunity in the cooking experience in a very bougie, upcoming Mexican restaurant in the middle of Berlin suburbs. So, on the other side you see Pablo. Who do you think Pablo is? Mexican guy. Pablo's dream was to move to Germany and work in also the bougiest Mexican restaurant there is. So he packed his bags, went to Germany and tried to live his dreams. As it became clear, they both subscribed to the same opportunity of works and applied for the same bougie work experience. Based on extensive criteria and background checks, also multiple rounds of cooking, quesadillas, burritos, and whatever there is Mexican. The owner of the restaurant said, oh, Wilhelm's cooking a little bit better, but due to the Pablo's Mexican heritage and that he head chef of this bougie new restaurant.
So you have two very different stories, but actually they have one thing in common. They are cases of positive discrimination. So let's look a bit deeper at what is actually positive discrimination. In order to first understand what it is, we need to define what is discrimination. I think many of you know what it is. I will just do a very quick definition. That's, first of all, discrimination is unfair treatment of a group of persons based on irrational grounds. That's the definition of discrimination. What about positive discrimination? It's actually quite easy to understand, but it's very, very, very specific. You don't see it in every single situation. Positive discrimination is where there's a policy or program that aims at favoring a group that has been treated unfavorably in the past to make sure that there's a more equal society. So basically, one group has faced inequality, they have faced discrimination, and then these measures, either through policy or programs, are meant to make it more fair. This is a definition from the European Commission, so it actually exists. Now we know. So the tricky thing about this definition is that actually three concepts that are very, very similar and that we often mistaken with all of them. There is positive discrimination, reverse discrimination, and positive affirmation. Maybe Samantha, you can maybe help us to understand what's the difference.
Yes, indeed. I have done multiple research, AKT, and so on. But positive discrimination, as we started, is that we are favoring group that has been discriminated in the past. So basically, we are choosing minorities just because they are minorities, not because based on their merit. These things usually come in handy when it's related to the policies, like grants, applications, legal requirements that are made by the organizations or individuals wanting these minorities to be represented. Secondly, we go to reverse discrimination. This is like the other spectrum of the rainbow or whatever. This is basically discriminating groups that have been favored in the past. So now we are discriminating the majority of the group. In the same areas of education, policies, and employment, in the same sense of having special grants, requirements for them to be taken more seriously than the other people from minorities. And third, so thirdly, thirdly, come to the positive affirmation. This is a bit more trickier term because this is like the good part of the positive discrimination. Basically meaning that with the positive affirmation, we are creating equal opportunities, addressing systematic barriers that are existing nowadays. This is based on the principles of equality and trying to battle social injustice. This usually is reached by outreach programs, mentoring, a lot of increased representations and workshops that are directly linked to represent and underrepresented groups. So, but what are the actual impacts of positive discrimination that it has on the society these days? Arno, if you may.
I may. It's not working anymore.
Okay, just
better without it. That's a very good question, Samantha. And the answer is actually very, very simple. There's two factors. Basically, what does it mean? It means more chances for minority groups or groups that have been unfavored in the past, and then less chances for majority groups or groups that have been favored in the past. It's as simple as it is when it's on paper. But actually, is it really that simple? Is all majority groups always the same? Is it always linear in those groups? Are every single person the same when they're part of a minority group and a majority group? Actually, we will try to answer with Monica. What about Monica? So we've seen that Monica was from a Czech university background, let's say, but we don't know that much about Monica except what we've said. What if Monica was living with an invisible or visible disabilities? The university doesn't know. Maybe she's had to go through discrimination, bullying, all these kind of things. She might have suffered like more barriers that other people might have, but it's not important because that specific policy is about ethnicity. So that's already an issue. What if Monica was actually growing up in a low-income family, and all the efforts that she had to put through were like huge. Yeah. Basically, she had no chances of getting tutored because she could not afford tutoring. She had no chances of having extracurriculars because she had to help her family
out
to get money. Yeah. Yeah. So she had additional barriers that are not being counted in this positive discrimination policy. And what if she was actually part of another minority group or unfavored group, such as the LGBTQIA+ community? Well, the university, they don't care. They just want one check, and that's it. And they want as much minority as they can in terms of ethnicity. So we see that it's actually not that easy. It's not just more simple, less simple like this. Because why is it so difficult? It's because actually discrimination is not linear. Discrimination is more intertwined concepts that go towards each other, because we're not being discriminated by one thing, we're being discriminated by multiple factors that go together. It's called intersectional discrimination if you go to my session tomorrow. So my question to you, Samantha, because we see that positive discrimination is maybe not working as well as we want it to work. So what if it never existed?
So we ask the question again. What if positive discrimination never existed? We go back to Monica and Begonia. What if Monica was chosen purely based on her grades? What if university chose Begonia because she looked great in the application? What if they are both undereducated but their parents are supporting university with extra money? What if Begonia was just looking good and the administrator wanted to take her in? We don't know. It's hard to judge based on just two pictures and a great academic background without any further understanding the human behind it. That's why we are asking you to answer us as well the question, is the world really better with or without positive discrimination?
And that is a question that we actually don't have any answer to. So we invite you to reflect, especially during this next stage with all your sessions, to think about it. Is it better to have these policies, or if it's better not to have those policies? This, unfortunately, even with our research, with our ChatGPT research, could not answer to us. So we invite you to think about it, to discuss it with your peers, and then maybe at the end of EGM, at the gala, you can come to us and tell us.
Yeah. If you have answers, please, we are open to discussions, but it's for you to answer and to educate yourselves, because what we are, not ChatGPT.
With that being said, thank you a lot for attending this EGM talk.
Yes.
And thank you.
So, do you have any questions regarding the topic? Is there something that perhaps is not clear enough we have to address more? It's either now or never. So, speak up.
Or till next week.
Yes.
It's more of a comment, I think.
Yeah.
So I think just considering positive discrimination only can sometimes comes narrow. So I'm in non-European in Europe for 5 years now. I'm Turkish and minority group. And I've been paying 13K a year in the university where European citizen pays 2K. So I think the actual problem is where universities make it more advantageous for themselves to actually find more non-European students, for example, because they're going to get more money simply. So I think, so if you actually look at it from a wider perspective, I think the main problem is not the positive discrimination. The main problem is what makes it so beneficial for them to actually start the positive discrimination. So, yeah.
That's a very good comment. There's always a reason why there's these peaks in universities. Thank you a lot for the comment.
Yes. Yes.
I have a question for you. Do you guys consider positive discrimination just plain discrimination?
I personally think if it's discrimination discrimination is discrimination.
Yeah.
It's a difference of treatment based on.
Still, you are discriminating. It's just how you are basically discriminating and against which kind of people. So, yeah.
Maybe I should have been more clear. But for example, in this example, well, Pigone would be taken as the token Romani. Is that what
Yes, as a minority.
Yeah, she'd be taken like as the token Roma. Roma.
Yes.
The son. As the token Roma girl. Yes, it's great for wow, someone finally different, etc., etc. But isn't that just plain discrimination? Not even necessarily towards Monica, because like yeah, sure, but like she's like a casualty. But like even just for Begonia, to know that she got in just to be the token.
Yeah. So if I can explain a bit more, so positive discrimination is discrimination based on the characteristics that you cannot change: ethnicity, age, race, sex as well. I mean now, okay, whatever. But yes, so basically also Monica does not feel needed because she's just a Roma. She's not the smartest girl in the class. She's not the the most evolved with the whatever. So basically, it's also discriminating towards Monica and Begonia just because she's part of this minority. Because people don't choose you based on the merit or how good you are. They choose you just because you check the criteria they have in mind. But this is more for the policies and the policies that are made by universities and the stakeholders that are trying to be more inclusive by having this kind of thing.
Thank you, Lord, for the question. We have one more question we can take, then we can discuss it after in the coffee break. Yes.
I have a question for you. Do you think that positive discrimination is actually a step to the wrong direction? Because also in your examples, the people who were chosen, or especially in this example, you said Begonia had, or Monica had better grades. So a person was chosen only for the reason of her ethnicity, and in the position then will be a person of an ethnicity which is not suitable, or maybe not as suitable as another person who could be in this position. And actually, I think that promotes the wrong direction. We have that in Germany with the women quota. We have women in leading positions which are only there because they're women and they just not good at the job. What do you think about that?
Okay, maybe I can answer. We're not there to promote our opinion about it. We're just there to increase awareness about the topic. So you're free to think which side of the opinion you're about this. We personally think that it has drawbacks, it has advantages. That's what we're trying to present, that there are good things about it, because some minorities don't have the same opportunities in terms of access to services or education. But it's not as simple as that. So that's why today we don't have any answers to this, and that we just want to make you aware of the situation rather than to make you pick a side.
We want you to open the mind and think inside yourself what is what you believe in, and that's how you can change what we are having right now. Because you are the change makers, we are the future Erasmus generation, and this is what message we want to leave you. Thank you again. It was